In the music industry, success can come in different ways. Some musicians don't need to be flashy to be considered successful. And in this video, we look at 8 artists that are quietly very successful. Noah Kahan. Noah Kahan has had one of the most surprising slow burn rises in modern folk pop. After debuting with Busy Head in 2019, to moderate acclaim, he steadily gained traction on streaming platforms. But it wasn't until 2022's Stick Season that he exploded. The album, a deeply emotional look at isolation, mental health, and personal growth, grew slowly through word of mouth and became a streaming sensation. It peaked at number 3 on the Billboard 200 and has gone 2 times platinum in the US. The title track became a sleeper hit, peaking at number 9 on the Billboard Hot 100 and accumulating 1.5 billion Spotify streams. Noah became the go-to for nostalgic montages on TikTok and started building his fan base. He resonated with a generation searching for honest songwriting and a non-glamorous portrayal of emotional struggles. Right now, he has over 25 million monthly Spotify listeners and has a total of 25 songs that have passed 100 million streams, including Dial Drunk, Northern Attitude, and Hurt Somebody, which became big streaming hits. Noah's touring success is even more impressive. His Stick Season tour began in small clubs and quickly upgraded to amphitheaters and arenas due to overwhelming demand. In 2023, he sold out Madison Square Garden and the Hollywood Bowl, cementing himself as one of the most in-demand folk artists in the world. Billboard reported that his The Stick Season Will All Be Here Forever tour grossed over $100 million just in 2024, becoming one of the biggest tours of the year. While he may not dominate the tabloids, Noah Kahan has quietly become a defining voice in modern folk pop and has quietly built a huge fan base. Melanie Martinez. Melanie Martinez has built one of the most unique and commercially underestimated careers in modern pop. After her early appearance on The Voice, she rose to prominence with her 2015 debut album Crybaby, which has now been certified 2 times platinum in the US without the support of massive radio hits. The album became a cult classic, with a dollhouse-like aesthetic and twisted storytelling. Its sleeper success was fueled by long-term streaming growth and TikTok virality. Crybaby has now surpassed 5.8 billion streams on Spotify alone, while singles like Pity Party and Playdate have been certified 2 times platinum. She continued to double down on her conceptual vision with K-12 in 2019, a full album accompanied by a film. Then came Portals in 2023, which debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, matching the peak of her debut, with first week sales of 142,000 units. The album introduced a new mythology, and its lead single, Death, debuted at number 95 on the Billboard Hot 100, her first chart entry in nearly a decade. But despite her total absence from major interviews or award shows, her Spotify metrics are staggering, with 3 songs above 500 million streams. Melanie's latest trilogy tour was a massive success, grossing over $38 million worldwide. The show sold out in major markets like Houston and New York's Madison Square Garden, which is amazing for an artist that doesn't get much radio support or traditional press coverage. Melanie Martinez is an outlier, a self-contained brand built on fan loyalty rather than industry hype. Summer Walker. Summer Walker's rise in modern R&B has been nothing short of remarkable, and yet she is rarely treated as a household name in mainstream media. Bursting onto the scene with her 2019 debut studio album Over It, she achieved instant commercial success. The album debuted at number 2 on the Billboard 200, earning 134,000 album equivalent units in its first week, breaking the record at the time for the biggest streaming week for a female R&B artist. It has since been certified 3 times platinum by the RIAA, with hits like Playing Games and Come Through getting hundreds of millions of streams. In my opinion, Over It is a modern classic. She followed it up in 2021 with Still Over It, which debuted at number 1, selling 166,000 units in its first week. Summer's streaming presence is formidable. As of mid-2025, she consistently maintains over 20 million monthly Spotify listeners, and her catalog regularly charts on Billboard, with Over It spending close to 300 weeks on the Billboard 200. She is an introvert who has always kept a low profile. You won't find any big interviews or talk show appearances from her. She only speaks with her music. Despite this, she has built a big fan base. Her touring, while impacted by her well-documented social anxiety, remains solid. When she does tour, she typically sells out mid to large venues in major cities. She may not be a media darling or perform at every award show, but she is quietly one of the most influential and commercially successful women in R&B today. Fiona Apple. Fiona Apple is the epitome of the quietly successful artist. Emerging in the mid-1990s, with her debut album Tidal, she became a critical darling early on thanks to her genre-defining sound. The single Criminal became a hit and won her a Grammy, and the album eventually went 3 times platinum in the US. But Fiona's success was never just commercial, it was cultural. Over the next 2 decades, she released just a handful of albums, each spaced many years apart and deliberately non-commercial, but they all debuted in the top 10 of the Billboard 200. Her 2012 album The Idler Will debuted on number 3, and her long-awaited album Fetch the Bolt Cutters debuted on number 4, despite having no traditional promotion, singles, or radio push. Fetch the Bolt Cutters became a rare case of critical acclaim, turning into genuine momentum without a major marketing campaign. It received a perfect 10 out of 10 rating from Pitchfork and a 98 out of 100 on Metacritic. It also topped several Best Album of the Year lists. The album debuted with 44,000 units sold in its first week, impressive for such a low-key release at the height of the pandemic. Her influence on pop music is huge, making her mark on many artists, from Billie Eilish to Phoebe Bridgers. Fiona Apple is the kind of artist whose quiet success is measured not in headlines or Instagram followers, but in cultural impact. AJR. The American pop trio AJR, made up of brothers Adam, Jack, and Ryan, have quietly built one of the most consistent fan bases in modern alternative pop music. They found early viral success with 2014's I'm Ready, but instead of fading out like many of the internet era one-hit wonders, AJR steadily grew into a multi-platinum act, and their 2021 album OK Orchestra debuted on number 10 on the Billboard 200 with the hit single Bang, which became a smash hit, peaking on number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 and accumulating close to 500 million Spotify streams. AJR's commercial success is even more striking when you consider how little mainstream media attention they receive. Despite rarely appearing on late-night TV shows or in celebrity headlines, they have cultivated a loyal fan base. Their songs regularly go viral on TikTok, like Weak and World's Smallest Violin, and their Spotify monthly listeners sit around 8 million. They had one of the highest grossing tours of 2024, bringing in around $33 million. What makes AJR quietly successful is their ability to stay outside of the pop spotlight while outstreaming many of the artists all over the headlines. They get a lot of hate online, but their fan base is solid. Just look at their live shows. Suicide Boys. New Orleans duo Suicide Boys are one of the most quietly dominant forces in hip-hop, owned by cousins Ruby the Cherry and Scrim. Their genre-blending fusion of trap, funk, and horrorcore made them icons of the underground. They are now one of the most streamed rap groups in the world. Despite no major label backing, they are one of the most successful artists to come out of that cloud rap era. What sets Suicide Boys apart is their anti-mainstream aesthetic. They rarely do interviews or press, and are mostly invisible in traditional media, but their fan base is dedicated. Their 2023 Grey Day tour grossed over $25 million, making them one of the highest grossing independent touring acts in North America. Their shows consistently sell out, and they were named the 3rd biggest touring rap act of 2024. The group's massive but low profile success is amazing. Without radio hits or pop collaborations, they have built a rap empire that rivals many major label artists. Brent Fias. Brent Fias is one of the most commercially successful R&B acts of the past 5 years, but he has managed to maintain an air of mystery, rising to prominence through his feature on GoldLink's Grammy-nominated smash hit Crew in 2016. He took a different path than many of his peers by leaning into moody R&B without chasing crossover hits. His debut album Saunderson in 2017 flew under the radar, but built an underground following, and then he dropped the EP Fuck the World in 2020, and it debuted on number 20 on the Billboard 200 and was later certified platinum, driven by fan-favorite tracks like Clouded and Rehab. In 2022, his album Wasteland shocked the industry by debuting at number 2 on the Billboard 200 with 88,000 units sold in his first week, a huge number for an independent artist. The album featured high-profile collaborations, but what's more notable is that it didn't rely on a massive single. The whole project streamed consistently well. As of 2025, Wasteland has racked up over 2.3 billion total Spotify streams, and Brent has 19 million monthly Spotify listeners. His songs Clouded and Trust have surpassed 600 million streams on Spotify. Brent has built a slow-burn, album-focused career, a rarity in today's music landscape. On tour, he has become a proven draw, as his tours have sold out venues across North America and Europe. His fan base is deeply loyal that he has even managed to sign Tommy Richmond and blow him up. Despite barely promoting himself in the media, he has proven that even in the social media age, quality and aura can drive success. Lil Tekk. Lil Tekk may not be the flashiest name in rap, but the numbers tell a different story. Bursting onto the scene with 2019's Ransom, the then teenager scored a surprise number 4 Billboard Hot 100 hit. The song has since become one of the most streamed hip-hop songs of its generation, now sitting on 1.7 billion streams on Spotify alone. Many expected him to be a one-hit wonder, but his debut mixtape, We Love You Tekk, debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200, selling 68,000 units in his first week, a breakout commercial success for a teenage self-made rapper. Since then, he has consistently dropped hits, charting from time to time. His 2020 follow-up, Virgo World, debuted at number 10 on the Billboard 200, and We Love You Tekk 2 followed suit in 2021, with a number 10 debut as well, showing that his fan base was no fluke. Though he doesn't dominate the hip-hop discourse, his songs like Love Me, Did It Again, and 500 Pounds are all comfortably over 500 million Spotify streams. He has just released his latest album, Dopamine, which is filled with banger after banger. He continues to deliver hit after hit against all the odds. Tekk has somehow managed to maintain relevance when most of his peers have fallen off. Which artists that are quietly successful did I miss? Tell me in the comments below.